Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Monday, November the 28th. We'll start with the sectors. We're going to look at the strongest sectors first and then the weakest. Just before we do that though, I just want to mention that next week I'll need to travel to see my mother, and that means that I won't be doing charts on the Tuesday and Wednesday. So the Monday charts, I'm going to do them on the Saturday and then post them up on the Saturday, so they'll be there for you over the weekend and Monday. But Tuesday and Wednesday I won't be able to do the charts. So anyway, I'll send you an email on that. One of the strongest sectors is the energy sector, of course, and it does look rather bullish that it can move further to the upside. We'll know that once we get a finish off of this 5-wave structure here, and then we can look to go long on this ABC pattern that will come in on that, and we can go up from that if that is indeed going to be the case, unless we've got some sort of expanded flat going on and we end up back down here for that. But it doesn't really matter, because we will look at this pullback from wave 1 here, which will be some sort of ABC pattern, and just quite simply we can go long at that point, and that will verify that we're in a bullish pattern. Otherwise it can be an A wave, an ABC for the B wave, and the C wave as an expanded flat. I don't think that's the case, but just got to be careful of these things. This is one of the strongest sectors. That's the bottom line with this, right? So that's that. The industrials is also quite strong as well. Now with the industrials, we can look at all of the what I wanted. The reason I'm looking at these sectors is we're going to have a look at the strongest sectors and then the weakest sectors. Now, when you go on the internet, there's folks there that are analysts that are very bullish, and there's also analysts that are very bearish. For me, I just want to move with the evidence, so I'm not going to call in being bullish or bearish. We're just going to trade what we see in terms of setups, and we're going to be mindful of both directions. In these cases here, in most cases we can look at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here, and also put the B wave up here on top of this wave 1 here, this 5-wave structure that's not finished, and then put this over here for that. So these things will become all we need to look for is trade setup. So once this does top out here, then we can just look for an ABC pattern across the 100, which will be a classic trading levels pattern just like this, and we'll enter over here once we've got all of that information there. So we don't have to call a market in. I mean, basically the markets are in a correction, aren't they? And corrections, we know that can be, they can be very complicated. You think you've got them figured out, and then you haven't. The health sector is another very strong sector as well, and it's never really dropped a lot either. So we could look at this the same as well. We can look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and it's finished, and we're going up for 5 waves. Or we can put this over here and this over here, and we go sideways further. So we look at this as a B wave here and a C wave over here for the B wave, and this becomes the A, so a larger A and ABC for the B wave, and down for the C wave here. So that's also possible as well. So we can't rule either of them out at this point. So I'm just saying that we just need to be mindful of both counts, and like I say, all we need to do is, or any of these markets that have got an impulse wave to the upside, all we need to do is be a little bit patient on the pullback, and sure, we can trade parts of that and so on, and we may be able to work out from other stocks where we are at that point. But if the market's going to be all-time bullish, well, then we'll just take that B wave out, and that's the end of the argument. If after 3 waves down, generally speaking, anything below 3 waves, then we can look to be short at that point. A bit more simple said than done, but in a nutshell, that would be it. So we just looked at some pretty strong sectors. At the moment, the finance is quite strong. Goldman's is making it strong. The other ones are still working up to the 61.8%. But it's the same thing here again as well. We can look at this all down here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and it's finished. My argument was that the C wave in all of these cases is just a little bit small compared to wave A, because normally there's a relationship between these two. So this B wave here, that can go over to here as a smaller A, B, and C over here. But the same thing applies over here. Now, we'll look at the banks today, and like Goldman's is pretty high, and the other ones need to finish off into their 61.8%, JP and the Bank of America. But once they have finished, sure, we can look to short them and do all those sorts of things, but they'll have some sort of pullback here if they're going to be bullish, and then that would be the point that we take them at that point. And as bearish, we can already be bearish in here, but just generally speaking, if there was going to be another move down here, that's what would also be playing for as well. So we just need to get to this junction over here for this, okay? So they're all quite strong sectors, and then we come over to the tech sector, which is kind of up there a little bit. Once again, in this particular case, we do have a nice C wave down here, so a nice A wave here, B wave here, and a nice C wave here. That's all doable at this point. But because we're counting 5 waves down here, we can look at this here as wave 1 or 2. We could put all of this as WXYs as well, and have this here as a B wave here as well. And the difference that would make in the move down is that it would just give us, well, from B going down to C here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave for a WXY, it will just give us 5 waves down as a C wave here for this. So it is possible, and probably likely as well, in that if it was going to go down, because there's a wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here, it takes us quite low at that point. Not so much as low, because in the markets, if you've been around the block a little bit, there's nothing too high and there's nothing too low. So you've got to kind of take that away from the thing. But what you need to look for is proportions and balance within structures, and you know, having this size of structure for wave A is kind of what we'd want over here for this as well. So yeah, so that's the tech sector in that way, and it's not as strong as the other ones. It's quite you know, quite low compared to the other ones. So we could also look at this as a bullish case as well. We could look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So what we're waiting for in this instance here is we're waiting for a move up here to finish off, and then that top becomes quite significant in that point. You know, that means we could go long from that point. It probably doesn't mean that we're bullish and we have that low in, but it does give that more strength at that point for that. That's pretty much it at that stage. The consumer discretionaries is hasn't really sort of woken up yet. So in this case, we can look for, I mean, it has made a new low here. Not that it doesn't have to make a new low, but as my case was saying, is that the wave A here, the length of wave A and wave C needs some sort of relationship. And sure, I could muster up a, you know, Fibonacci relationship out of this one to this one, you know, but yeah, there's a good case that we do have an impulse wave to the downside, and we're looking for a wave 2 to come in, and then down again. But there could also be an A wave, a B wave again here as well. It could be that certainly could be the case as well. It'll just give us a different thing here. So with all of these markets, we're just looking for the right place to understand where to enter. So with the SP 500 here, once again, we can have the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. Once again, my case is that the C wave's a little bit short compared to wave A. So having it come down further would be the go. You could also count all of this as a WXY as well. One of my cases was that for this market is that from this top here, just roughly speaking, to the low here, as you know, the 61.8% is at the 4,000. So if we were going to look at this as wave 1 down here, or wave A down here to have a B wave or a C wave down here, then at the 61.8% or the 78.6, which would be a bit higher, in a bit of a nutshell, finding a solid support on this level here, then that would, or not, if it can't find support, well then we'd come down. If it found support, we can go up. So then the question is, what is support? So we're looking at this particular pattern here. We've got that, and we're in this space here now. So, stupid thing, I can't get rid of that. Anyway, let's just go in and have a look at that pattern a little bit further. We can look at it in terms of bullish and bearish. So let's just go to I won't spend too much time on this one because I want to go to stocks, but I do want you to understand, don't worry about all this count just down here, because all we're looking for here at the moment is the arrival, the reaction, and the first high above the level. So as that picture before the green monster came in, this pattern here is really what we're looking for at this stage. Really? So we're looking for this particular pattern here. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern, and then we can go long above this level here. So this is the arrival, this is the reaction. There's normally, or there is always 5 waves in this move here. So we're looking at that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then we'll have this ABC pattern over here for that. So we're kind of halfway through the understanding if we're going to get support on this level or not. We're not there yet. But that's something that we would be looking at in due course. So we just need to be a little bit patient. Now, obviously, this particular pattern here is going to be coming from stocks. Now, with stocks, there's patterns that are in line with this particular idea here, and there's also patterns that are not in line with this at all. There's some stocks that are doing completely different things. So let's just move into the stocks. So with Apple here, once again, we're looking for pretty much the same thing really. We're looking for 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here. That's where we were last time. But if we do get another little move down through here, right, then I'll need to put wave 4 over here and look at this as, a typical complicated wave 4. But what we're looking for at the end here is we're looking for the first high above the level here, or this high anyway, and then the market can come down from that point. Or we're going to get a simple A wave, B wave, and C wave here, and then we can go long above that, long above this top here for that. Okay, so that's where we'll be going long, or otherwise we'll be looking to go short over here, because in the bigger pitch here we're looking for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave up here, and 1 and 2 and 3 in blue and 4 in blue either to here or to here. It hasn't broken any rules where we were left off yesterday as wave 1 here with an ABC for 2 here, up for 1 here, and ABC for 2 here. It hasn't taken out that low, but like I said, if it does take out this low here, then we'll need to call that wave 4 in there, and that kind of puts it in the same sort of timing as the SP 500. So this is probably the right way to look at it. We weren't calling any long trades in here and all the rest of it, and I wouldn't really bother about it. The extension's in wave 3 here, right? So that means that wave 1 here and wave 5 over here are going to be much the same in terms of distance here. So there's not going to be a lot in here for this, what we will do is, I mean, obviously you can trade long if you wanted to, but we'll just look for the ABC pattern here, and we can go long at that point, and we'll also be looking for short trades over this side as well. So it's just a matter of time for this to play out, and that's the general story with everything to a point. Not everything, but Nvidia here. I understand this could be counted differently, but I'll just wait to see if we get one more move up here for this. It's looking okay so far with 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave up here. So we'll just wait for that to play out. If it does anything else, I understand that we could probably look at this as an impulsive wave here, but yeah, just sort of, I'll just stay with it. It's a bit of an odd one at the moment, that one, but and Amazon's a little bit different because it's a bit like Nvidia. It's not like the S&P, and it's not like the banks and that. Like the banks just need to finish off this fifth wave here, and that gives them a top here. Now the thing is that yes, the S&P and the Nasdaq, they need to make another top here. They need to go 3, 4, and 5 up here, right? But this Amazon has come too far down here, so it's not going to make a new high up here. You know, so now we need to be looking at it, as we mentioned last time, as wave 1 here and 2 here. Now it's just a matter of sorting out what makes it wave 2 at this point. Well, the 50-60% retracement levels up there, but this was rather spiky up here, so I don't really sort of trust the spikes too much. So it gives us this 50-60% up here, but really this block through here, this and this through here, and this and this here through here. So pretty much anywhere in here would do the trick. Now we're looking for the S&P to move down into wave 4, and then to move up in that case, you know, into wave 5. So I think it's something like that, and then we can look to come down at that point. So you could probably go long above this high here. If it got breached, that would be fine, but otherwise we should expect some sort of move a little bit lower in this case with Amazon. So we'll just see how the markets open up after the holidays. But like I said before the holidays, we had these particular patterns playing out where they would come back from holidays, and everybody will jump in being positive and long and happy from the holidays, and then once everybody's in, then we'd see it fade from that point. Now Meta is a little bit like Amazon and a couple of others. Now it's a little bit different, but the bottom line is that let's just go back a little step. Let's go to the 1000 ticks here and just look at this for a moment. So I was looking for a wave 4 up here, but this move here, we could label that wave 4, but it counts better as a impulse wave, as I mentioned last week, and this is not really counting as a nice impulse wave here, counting more corrective. So I was hoping that we'd get one more move up here to make this an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. I do understand in the bigger picture too that we can have a look at this as a low being in place, so we can just have a quick look at that as well, based on those 5 waves there. So not that particular chart, maybe I've got different charts going on here. I know that's a little bit confusing and folks don't like that, but where are we here? I need to continue. If I keep thinking outside the box all the time, well then and then look for trade setups, then I look at both sides of the market carefully. So this would be the other one here where we have well, it's still not there, is it? So it must be on 10k. It's just another count. Yeah, this count. But I don't particularly like this count in that the relationship of wave A and B to wave C here just doesn't make any sense, you know. And the other thing is too is that I know from experience that coming down into a large number like this here, you would always see a bounce at that point. Now the thing is here, it didn't really bounce off the level. It really sunk into it. And I find that when they do sink into it, it means that they don't bounce very high, and they still got a lot of work to do with this number here. So I'm quite confident that we're going to be, be pulled back to it. It's just that I can count 5 waves up here better than 3 waves. So I just need to see another high to come in, and then it should pull back at that point. Yeah, but because it's sunk in there, if it had just come down and touched it here, then we would have had a much higher, stronger bounce. But because it's sunk into it, it just tells me that we're at a point of weakness. So we'll just monitor that for a little bit. Netflix here was pretty much on cue. We're looking for, from this move up here, we're counting 5 waves down, and we're looking for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave for wave 2. That can come back to pretty much the 300 by the looks of it. So yeah, 61.8%. So it can go into that space. We don't need that. So look, if you see it being positive, you could trade it up if you're a short-term trader, but yeah, just make sure like the S&P and NASDAQ need to drop a little bit first. I think not much in the some sort of squeeze in the open or something in the futures. Enphase, we're just cruising along here, looking okay so far. Our main aim with this particular market is to get support on this number here. Now we know that all the other markets are going to be topping out, so we have to be, we have to be a little bit concerned about this market. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, really. I mean, in terms of a bullish move, it's doing all the right things. We've got wave 1 here and 2 here and 1 here and 2 here and 1 here and 2 here. And last time we spoke, we were talking about counting up here as 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave. Put the fourth wave in over here. That jumped around on the holidays a bit, whatever. And we get wave 5 up there. That's looking good. And then we're just looking for this this ABC pattern back for wave 2, so up here for 1 and back for 2 here, and then moving up here again. On that, we can go long if you wanted, but don't overexpose yourself at this point, because we're looking for markets to top out. Now, will this market top out with the other markets? That's the thing, I mean, it's got its own, the whole green movement is quite strong at the moment, and so it could just do its own thing. The thing that concerns me a little bit here is, I mentioned last week, is that we're looking for wave 3 here and then wave 4 here. That seems to be all okay, coming from this low here as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 the third. Everything seems to be going sort of okay here, but we do need it to basically find, well, we want it to find support, test a classic trading levels pattern on 330, and then we know that we'll be going up from that point. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to see something that's like wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and ending diagonal in here. We just make a little high, and that's the end of it, for wave 4 and 5, and then we come down with the rest of the markets. So yeah, until we get support on here, because when you're thinking about it, we're looking at like the finance sector and that, it's all pretty clean and clear to me. We've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, so we've got we've got this week to finish off these tops, so we've got a week this week to finish off these tops here, maybe Thursday or something, I don't know. So yeah, but the thing I like about it, we do have support on the 300, and while the structure's in place, we'll just stay there. I mean, if we get out, if the market goes up, shoots up here further up into the 3 up here, that's all good. But what we'll probably do to protect things a little bit, I'll have to be a little bit diligent on it, is that if the market goes up, let's say the market travels up above the 330 here somewhere, right? That's all good. But if later on, if this is a major level here, then 1, 2 and 3, if the number 2 here becomes the retested resistance, then we need to move out of the market once it trades up here. It's okay to spike down to the 15 and recover, but if we get some sort of resistance here, like it makes a low, goes back and tests it, and then breaks that low here, then that's resistance at that point. So we would exit at that point. So this is this is how we'd probably handle. This is how we will handle it actually. So what we'll try to do is we'll be able to get these guys. We'll be able to get this one, and this one, into a bit of a profit and break even. Anything above here, we won't be able to do that at this point. So maybe we don't do that one here because of the rest of the market. So we can put that one over here, and we can move in on there. We'll just skip one at this point because of the rest of the markets are not really giving us what we need to have at this point. Okay, so with Tesla here, it's possible to have a low in here, to have this as an A and a B and a C for the A wave, and then the B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the C wave. Excuse me. But I don't have any evidence of, a move up here. It does appear that I'm getting a little impulse wave here, just like I'm getting in that and the same in meta platforms as well. So we're going to see another little push up here, but I would probably have to get a nice 5 wave structure up here. So if this one is wave 1 here, then we'll have wave 2 and then 3, 4 and 5. We need something like that to convince me that we're bullish. What I think we're going to get, this does appear to be 5 waves here, so that means we're going to have a little correction here, and then we're going to have another move up. But that may only give us 3 moves up, and we can come down from that point. So this is what we have to wait for. We have to wait to see if we get 5 waves or we get 3 waves here. That's kind of as simple as I can put it at this point. We can look at these in different ways. We can look at it at 1,000 ticks, which is having a low in place. I'm just going to clean this up. I'm a bit short on objects on chart. So 1,000. So this was a count where we had it sort of the whole thing finished off a bit here as the A wave, the B wave, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. The thing I don't like about this is the wave 4 is too small, but I kind of soak that up a little bit because wave 2 here is quite big and complicated compared to wave 1. But it doesn't mean that this is, it doesn't mean it's right. It's like, okay, well, there's a possibility there. But like I said, we would need to get 5 waves up. We've only got 1 up so far. So we'll get this one and then this one here. And this is where it can fail here. And this is where we need to be looking at short trades under here for this, because we'll be coming down much further at that point. Or we get 5 waves up. And if we do get 5 waves up, don't think you're missing anything, because we're going to pull back in 3 waves, and because we've got 5 waves up here, that means we're going to get another 5 over here. So if we get 5 here, we'll be buying the pullback here, and we'll also be building into this trend over here. So don't think you're missing much. So we need to look for the short trade and the long trade on this on this market. And there's different ways of looking at this market, but I'm just going to keep it simple as possible. So on that move here that I just mentioned, we've seemed to got a little move up here of 5 waves. So let's see if we get 3 waves into the to the 200 and then fail at that point. Like I said, we can go short in amongst all of that. I'm just going to remove these. We'll just have a look at 100 ticks and have a look at this move to the upside. So we're counting this up the other day. There is a bit of a spike in here, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and it's made a new low here. But that spike, I mean, it could be important. but there wasn't a lot of traffic flow in it. Do you know what I mean? It was part of this trend here already. So after this happened, it still continued to move up and did its thing, and then moved over at that point. So I'm going to leave it at that. But you know, it could be an error. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, another little spike coming into the top here, close to the 61.8% at that point. And yeah, we can look at it as wave 1 or wave A, as I mentioned, and an A wave and some sort of B wave and C wave to come in here, and then another move up to 200 at that point. So then we'll start to assess it at that stage. So you could look to go long on strength. Just be careful that you might get another pullback into the to this 180 area here, maybe 178 or something, you know, maybe even a little bit further down. But okay, and okay, with Alphabet, I just wanted to keep this simple as well. Alphabet and Microsoft, they had some bad earnings, right? So when they had that here, it didn't really give a nice clean structure in that drop that it had. Afterwards, it gave us this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count that here, but I can't count in here for this. So it makes it a little bit difficult. It does mean that we can have a low in place here. We could look at all of this as some big A wave, B wave here, and a C wave over here with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. That's all good. But I just want to be a little bit careful. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look for, we've got the arrival here, the reaction here, and then we'll look for the first high above the level, very much like the S&P, and then we'll just wait for this side over here to happen, because we're either going to come down here or we're going to be looking for long trades on this here, and this will be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and then we can just look to move up from that point. And then we can look at this as wave 1 here for this. But I don't know that yet. Do you know what I mean? We have to wait for that setup here. That's the trap, you know. So anyway, we've been looking at this. I just wanted to use a clean chart just to draw it out, because we've really been, you know, I can go to the daily chart here and have that. I'm not sure what I've done on the daily chart now for this. Right, yeah, so I was looking at it like that, you know, as a that's how I got the count, the A, the B, and the C here, and I kind of like all of that. That looks all good. That will need to probably come over here for that, and it all needs to be shaped up a little bit, but I haven't seen this for a while, but there we go, something of that nature. Yeah, but I don't know that just yet. So yeah, so on the 100 ticks here, we've just been working this structure to the upside here, which is all of this. So all of this structure here, most of it counts okay. I was looking at this move up here in 2 ways, considering this here. If I take this as wave 1 and 2 here, then I've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the 3rd wave, 4th wave, and 5th wave here, and have a top in here for this. If I don't take that initial spike here, then I can look at all of this move here as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the 3rd wave, and the 4th wave over here, and then the 5th wave moving up here. So we need 5 waves up for the 5th wave, so that will bring us over here, and we can look at this as the 4th wave here moving up. So we've got a little 5 waves up for 1, coming back for 2, then there'll be 3, 4, 5 coming up here to finish this off. And this will give us the classic trading levels pattern. So we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level can come up into group 1. Group 1 will be 1, 2, and 3, and then it will have, if it's going to be, well, in both cases bullish or bearish, it's going to have the same pattern here. It'll have this as wave 1 and 2, and then down for 1 and 2 or 3 or whatever, or an A and a B and a C. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we can just go long at that point, and that will tell us that we're bullish at that point. So that's what we're waiting for. But in the meantime, you can trade long for short-term traders. You can look to go up, but just expect that there'll be a bit of a pullback within all of this here, because we can count from the low here of 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave here, leaving 5 and 1 roughly the same, but that's not quite true, but that's normally the story if wave 3's got the extension in it. So we're looking for this to pull back a little bit further into, you know, into this area here, and then looking for 3, 4, 5. So that will be in line with the general market at that point. And what I just said about Google, Alphabet in the bigger picture will be the same for Microsoft. It had the same sort of thing here. We can look at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then come down further as wave 1 here, or 2 and B if you go WXYs, or we've got wave 1 up here. So we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. We'll wait for the ABC pattern, and then we'll go long, or we'll start looking for short trades over here. So it'll just be a little bit of patience with all of this. That's the gist of it all. Berkshire Hathaway is the same thing as well. We can look at it, we can look at all of this here as an A wave here, a B wave, put this B wave here, and then a C wave on this low here. Or we can put the B wave over here on top of this C wave and look at this as an A and a B and a C wave for the B wave, and put the C wave over here. So these 5 waves up here, once they finish, we're going to have some sort of ABC pullback again. So we can buy anything above the B wave at that point. Or otherwise it's going to, you know, the whole market thing is going to be pulling back down at this point. So yeah, it'll just take a little bit of time to, I mean, we're not going to miss anything. That's the main point, you know. So we just got to be a little bit patient on all of this. And with block here, from this is a low here, so we can look at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. And it does look like we've got 5 waves down here. We'll look at this on 100 ticks in a moment. So I'm just thinking that we'll have some sort of you know, ABC pattern here, and then down again at that point. So what we'll do, once we've got that low in, once we've got the second low in, we'll be able to go low from that point there. We should be able to get a retested resistance in this area here as well for that, and look to get a better position on that. So just looking at this little move down through here, so you've got some bearing on it. So from the top here, we've got 1, ABC for 2, then 1 and 2, and third wave down, fourth wave, fifth wave for the third. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down for wave 5 here with nice 5 waves. So look for the A, the B, and the C wave here. I haven't given this much thought just yet for this one. I mean, obviously, the A wave could be 5 waves or 3 waves. I would expect it to be 5 waves if we're going to be looking at this here as okay, I'll just copy that as wave 1 here and 2 here for this. But we may end up in a more complex sideways correction with all of this. I'm not sure just yet, so I'll just put a little B wave here just to remind me that I have mentioned it. But it will give us this B wave to short at this point. Once we've finished this little move up to the top there, this will be in line with, you know, the S&P and the banks topping out as such. And looking at the banks, I won't be looking at any details in the banks, but basically the 3 banks that we follow, as I mentioned over last week, we're looking at wave 4, looking for wave 5 to push up. So that's still the case for BAC, still the case for Morgan. Morgan's made a new top there, that's good, still needs to push up further into its 50-60%, and that's the same as BAC, but Goldman's is the one that's leading to the upside. The move up here can be bullish, it can be part of a larger correction as well, corrective rally, but anyway, we'll get to the top here and it'll sort itself out and will give us some Once we get this move over here, a pattern over here, then we can work it either long or short, and then we'll know if we're going to be more bullish or more bearish at that point as well with the markets. Alrighty, that's it. So thanks for tuning in. Cheers.